The disciples are locked down. They're hiding out in the upper room because they're afraid. They're afraid that they're going to suffer the same fate as Jesus. Jesus comes to them. He says, "Peace be with you." Now they're astonished. Is this a ghost? What's going on? So he says to them again, "Peace be with you." He shows them his physicality. It's his body. He's not a ghost. He's really there. He's there for them. And then he breathes on them, gives them the great gift of the Holy Spirit. He promised at the Last Supper that he would give them a peace beyond all understanding, a peace not like the peace the world gives. And now Jesus fulfills that promise. He gives them the peace of the Holy Spirit, and that peace brings them a joy, not a hilarity, but a deep serenity, that they know God is with them. And then Jesus gives them his mission. He came to forgive sins. He came to show the divine mercy of God. This is Divine Mercy Sunday. He shares with them his ministry of forgiveness and reconciliation, and he sends them out and he says, "Forgive sins." And he gives them the power to do that through the Holy Spirit. Now, what about us? We're locked down, we're afraid. We've got this monster that's getting closer, this invisible virus. We're scared. Jesus comes to us. Jesus is with us now. He's saying the same thing. Peace be with you. And he's giving us the same gift, the Holy Spirit. And he's giving us the same mission to continue to be ministers of peace by extending forgiveness. Now, I don't know how long you've been locked down, and I don't know who you've got with you in your apartment or your house, but if there's somebody else there, you're probably getting on each other's nerves. We've got, there's 23 Paulists living here. I can guarantee you that at least one of them is getting on the nerves of somebody else. And so we have to practice this ministry of forgiveness if we're going to be able to live with each other. A while back, I did one of these destination weddings, and all the guests were staying in the same hotel. In the morning of the wedding, I went down to the restaurant and had breakfast with a married couple that I've known for quite a while. They're about my age. They've been married for some years. And so looking for material for my wedding homily, I said to them, if you had any advice to give to the couple, what would the advice be? And the husband said, presume forgiveness. You have to presume that you're going to hurt your spouse's feelings and that your spouse is going to forgive you. And his wife stopped him. And she says, don't presume I'm going to forgive you. I wouldn't say it presumed forgiveness. I would say absolute forgiveness. I just have to commit myself to be forgiving. And we talked about this, and as we hashed it out, what does this really mean? The term I came up with was habitual forgiveness. We have to make it a habit to forgive, because people are going to annoy us. They're going to hurt us. We're going to get angry. And we do not want to walk around with a head full of anger and a belly full of resentment. That is no way to be locked down. You don't want to start giving somebody the silent treatment if there's only two of you in the apartment. So what's the answer? Jesus told us. Forgive each other's sins. How do we do that? Sometimes it's hard. When somebody apologizes to us, it's relatively easy. But what if it's a chronic thing? There's just something they do that annoys you. Well, Jesus gave us the answer to that too. He says, love your enemies, pray for your persecutors. The way you love your enemy, the way you forgive your enemy, is to pray for them. It's very difficult to hate somebody and simultaneously love them by praying for them, because when you pray for somebody, it's an act of love. Now, I know I don't want to walk around holding on to resentment. If you've heard me preach about this before, and maybe you have because I talk about it all the time, I've said, and I didn't, it's not my line, I stole it, resentment is the poison I drink hoping you die. I'm walking around holding this resentment, and it's just an acid that's eating away inside of me. I gotta let it go. And the way I let it go is to forgive, and the way I forgive is to pray for you. And I don't give God instructions telling him exactly what I want for you. I just ask God to bless you. I just ask God to make the best possible outcome for our relationship. I just hold you in love and ask God to bless you. And that's going to change my heart. And that's going to allow me to forgive. So we've got our homework. Think about the person you resent. Think about the person that's annoying you. And for the rest of this Mass, say a prayer for them. And I want to end with a poem that I wrote on this line from the Gospel, as the Father has sent me, so I send you. As the Father has sent me, so I send you. Light from light to light you are sent, into a constant calling forth from fear until peace be with you is your atmosphere. Then comes the golden spiral that sends you spun into the gently pulsing web, guided by the great light-footed weaver. You spend your life vibrating threads to mend torn and beleaguered lives with multiple strands of forgiveness.